On the Street, brought to you by First Money, the mobile money service from First Bank.
Patriotism is the love for one's country and readiness to defend it at all costs. It is widely said that many Nigerians, especially the youth, are not interested in rendering services to the nation. For so many reasons, the youth believe that the government has failed them to a very large extent. Most of the great men who ever lived were driven to greatness by the spirit of patriotism, which led them to put their country before themselves. Before we go further into patriotism, we asked our young people what is their idea of patriotism.
Patriotism is s- a word or a language that simply explains one who is a strong believer and a fanatic in his country.
Patriotism has to do with unity. It has to do with equity also.
An average Nigeria is very patriotic, but the question is a lot of things have endangered the spirit of patriotism in Nigerians. Bad economy, you see people that are zealous, people with too much spirit, and see how the way the situation of this country is breaking the spirit of an average Nigeria. In truth, an average Nigeria is either frustrated or have given up on their dreams and their hopes.
Idea about patriotism is being a genuine Nigerian, standing for what is right, doing what is right, even when others are not doing it. That's my idea about being patriotic.
I think patriotism means you doing something for your country without expecting anything in return. And I think the youth of this country have done that. They've done that a lot of the time. And we have examples around.
In my opinion, I think we are not patriotic. Most youth are not patriotic. And the reason is far-fetched. I say that because myself, I'm a youth, but I have not yielded to the temptation of not being patriotic, but I'm aware that a lot of youths are not patriotic. And they give different reasons for not being patriotic.
Most of our youths are corrupt, but I don't want to conclude by saying that everybody is not patriotic. All the youths are not patriotic. Some are patriotic, some are not. And it has to do with individual. You know, when we are talking about patriotism, we are talking about value system, our moral standard.
I think change is just coming up. It's a gradual thing. Nigeria is 54 years. And if you want to compare with countries like America is over 200 years. Really, there is no level of comparison, but I think we are trying in Nigeria, but we will get there.
What is responsible for lack of patriotism is when the youths are not encouraged. You know, many Nigerians today who go to school, have education, and then come out and don't have anything to show for it.
Nigeria being an unpatriotic state is because of the kind of upbringing, the kind of culture, the political culture we've developed. That is why Nigeria is not and can never be a patriotic state.
The life of the youth now, their mind is centered on something else. They want the riches, they want the fame, they want the money, the glitters, everything that the glitter and glamour, everything that comes on a fast lane. That's why I think most of all those things have subdued the spirit of patriotism in the life of youth right now. An average youth don't want to vote because they feel their votes don't count. Whoever emerges as the winner of the election, they already know who is emerging the winner. Their vote doesn't count. So an average youth is saying, why bother?
When you have parents who are not transparent, when you have parents who are not sincere, when you have parents who doesn't believe in their nation, then you have children who exhibit such ideology or notion, and we have children who exhibit such ideology and notion, that it will transfer into the society. Then society will relapse. They won't have anything to stand on.
When the leader is faulty, when the leader is not performing well, when we are not seeing good results, when the youth are not being favored or some sectors are kind of like they are not moving forward. So at some point in time, you just feel things are not going well. So why should I want to be part of it when an organization is not moving well? Where you can see that, okay, this thing is faulty and we complain about it, but nothing is being done about it. So, and you just feel, okay, what's the point? I can as well go to another place and be fine and be on my own and I'm fine. So at that point, the patriotism level drops.
While it is true that Nigerian youth are repressed and complaining a lot because of their struggles, most advocates of patriotism say instead of waiting for someone to help out of that struggle, individuals should take the responsibility to help their nation.
The attitude of people, the attitude of youth are changing. You will see people these days, especially on Independence Day, you see them wearing green, white, green. I've seen it all over. In fact, it has become a culture in Lagos now. There's a particular religious body in Lagos. You see them coming out with their regalia of green, white, green. And even apart from that, you see people wearing green, white, green on Independence Day. So what more do you expect from patriotic youth than that? And apart from that, things are not working, but the youth are still there trying to make sure that they get something meaningful out of the system. We can't sit down to complain. If you complain from today till tomorrow and we don't do anything about it, nothing will happen. We have to take the bulls by the horn. That is my belief. And that is the belief of most youth in Nigeria, except for those that believe that the solution is when they travel out of the country. But for us, for me, I would rather stay in my country and look at what I can do for my country rather than to wait for what my country can do for me.
If the government can do certain things for the youth, I think that will encourage them and that will build patriotism.
This thing has gotten so bad that it's psychological now. So it starts from the mind, and anything starting from the mind starts from the family, starts from the environment.
When you love yourself and you love your nation, then the spirit of patriotism will be sincere in everything. If you're sincere in a little thing, you'll be sincere in all things.
It has a lot to do with the leaders, looking out for the youths, knowing their wants and their needs, and making opportunities available for them when they really need it, like after school employment opportunity and every other profitable opportunity the youth can benefit from. And not only the youth, even to the elders, children, and every sector, every area.
When you believe in your country, you can go the extra mile. It will bring development. Number one, there will be development. If you so much believe in your country, you want to do anything for your country. That is the first thing. It will bring development. Look at a country like Britain, United Kingdom. You don't have so much mineral. They are not blessed with mineral resources. But United Kingdom is blessed with so many people that believe, in the policy of the country, and that is why you have a lot of people coming from all over the world to come to United Kingdom, either on tourism or to study. But if you imbibe the same culture in Nigeria, I believe things will, development will come faster. Development will come faster. People, development attracts attention of, people all over the world. And in Nigeria today, even according to the Bureau of National Bureau of Statistics, 54% of the population of Nigeria is youth. So when you have 54, it means the youth are of the greater number than the older people. So if you can catch the youth, that means that you've been able to get Nigeria.
Here on the outskirts of Kampala, the money to buy chalk often arrives late, leaving the principal with no choice but to buy on credit or pay out of his own pockets.
When it comes late, it is very difficult to carry out the proper running of the school. Buying books, buying pens, buying chalk, it becomes very hard. You would need to give examinations to the children, testing exams. Now when there is no funds, it becomes very hard.
The 500 students here are meant to take an exam every month, but with such their lack of resources, they are only able to take 2 tests per year. And they are missing far more than just chalk. Salaries to pay their teachers have been delayed too. Like elsewhere in Uganda, the shadow of corruption lays heavy across the school. But now, a smartphone application called Action for Transparency is working to change that.
We're developing tools and working with networks of communities to provide data on budget allocations to schools and health centers, and we hope later other sectors. And also offering through our app and website a platform where people can report without fearing.
Many Ugandans still hesitate to expose corruption, but with this application, the process is streamlined. Simply clicking on alert sends the information straight to the concerned authorities.
We want to know if the government says this amount was released and dispersed to a school X. Did that exact amount reach the school? And if it reached the school, was it used in accordance to the budget?
Mobile phones are abundant in Africa, used for everything from paying bills to monitoring road traffic. Now, if this latest app succeeds, they will be helping to bring the fight against corruption back into the hands of everyday Ugandans.